Sixers, they just wrapped up a game against Houston tonight, actually. They lost 113 to 102. I was away for a baseball game, so I didn't get to watch anything except for the final minute, which was just a waste of my time, if I'm being honest with you. But that's not what this podcast is going to be about, since I didn't get to tune in. It's more going to be about the Sixers' final two games, different postseason scenarios, talk about a little bit about Joel Embiid and what's going to need to happen down the stretch for the 76ers, because it's just a shame what has happened right now with this team and how unlucky they've been for so many years. But after the loss tonight, the Sixers fall to 43 and 37. They have two games remaining against two really bad teams, the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, these are two must-win games for the Sixers, like must win. So they got done the hard part of their schedule. The last 5 or 6 out of their last 7 games were brutal. Houston, San Antonio, Detroit, Minnesota, Miami, Charlotte. They had OKC a few days before that. They're on a 3-game losing streak, which has really dropped them pretty heavily. They were out of the play-in tournament for a couple days, and then Detroit comes to town. We go to San Antonio and Houston. We crap the bed. And obviously, without Joel Embiid now, you can't even bank on these next two games being gimmies, because the Sixers, even though they're statistically really good against bad teams this year, teams under 500, they're not good without Joel Embiid. They never have been. Now, granted, I still think we find a way to win both these games. I would not be shocked if we split, and if we lose both, then guys, it would be a disaster. I'm not even talking about the Rockets game tonight. I'll briefly. I haven't even. This is my first time even looking at the stat sheet. Nothing really catches me off guard. It's kind of the same thing per usual. It looks like Paul George's first kind of down night. Again, I didn't catch anything of this game except for that final minute. I'm not going to talk about that game at all. I'm just going to go right into the standings and discuss with you guys some certain scenarios. So the Sixers, they currently hold the 8th seed, which would be in that first play-in game. They will be on the road going to Orlando. They are just one game back of the Orlando Magic, who hold the 7th seed, and we have the tiebreaker over Orlando. So if we can gain a game on them, which means we need to win out and they need to lose one, or we win one and they lose out. I'll pull up their schedule in a second. But again, we have the tiebreaker over them. It would be really huge if we could host a playing game that is not the 9 and 10 seed game. So I'm going to go real fast. I'm going to look at Orlando's schedule. Again, I'm kind of just going, um, you know, I don't have anything. I'm going, you guys know what I'm saying. I'm pulling everything up as we speak. I'm sorry for the stutter. So their remaining schedule for the Magic, they got the Bulls on Friday and the Celtics on Sunday. Both are on the road. They won 4 straight games, 5 out of their last 6. Chicago should be a win. That is on the road. You never know. And then they have Boston, which I think Boston right now, they're fighting to, well, they pretty much are almost wrapping up the 2 seed. So that they might rest some guys. I'm not quite sure. And also at the same time, it might not matter. But, on paper, you'd like to think that Orlando loses to Boston that game. So if the Sixers win out, hopefully they can jump them. But that's just Orlando. Charlotte is also tied with this right now. They hold the number 9 seed, also at 43 and 37. We do have the tiebreaker over them, but they could very well catch us. And I'll go to their schedule now to end this season. They end with, sorry, I'm pulling this one up as well. They got Detroit and New York, so that's a pretty tough 2 games there. Detroit's at home, New York's on the road. So the remaining schedules do kind of favor the Sixers right now. And it looks like they have a real chance at hosting the 7 seed play-in spot, but they need to win out these next 2 games. The Sixers are 2 games back of the Hawks and the Raptors, who were at the 5 and the 6 seed. I don't think that's realistic right now. The Sixers have the tiebreak over Toronto, I believe. They do not over Atlanta. So that a lot of crazy stuff would need to happen for them to jump Toronto. I think we would have to win out, Toronto would have to lose out, and Orlando would also have to at least lose 1 game. So there's a lot of different scenarios up in the air. And, why not? I'll check the Raptors' final 2 games, see what that's looking like. But again, I don't think that's going to happen. Raptors, I gotta give them credit. This is a very disciplined team, considering the circumstances of what the roster looks like. Friday, the Raptors have the Knicks on Friday on the road and the Nets on Sunday at home. You go figure they're probably going to beat Brooklyn, but you never know. You never know what happens. So I listen. I would be very happy with the 7th seed in the plan. Right now we sit at the 8th seed. I think we have a realistic shot at moving on up. And then there's the Miami Heat at the 10th spot, who is 2 games back of us and Charlotte. It looks like they're going to be pretty much locked in there. So if we were to fall, we actually cannot fall out to the 10 seed. We would host the 9 seed and 10 seed playing game because we had the tiebreaker over Miami. So that's a little comforting. But the problem is, guys, Joel Embiid's out, and we don't know anything about his timeline. It's a very weird kind of surgery. There isn't really a timeline. He could be gone for a couple weeks. He could be gone for a little over a month. And this team going to the playoffs, God forbid they do win a playing game and they somehow make the playoffs. I just don't see them upsetting one of the bigger name teams without Joel Embiid. I mean, we expect them to beat Boston or Detroit because right now it looks like Detroit has the 1 seed clinched. Detroit's going to be the 1 seed. And right now it looks like Boston's going to have the 2 seed. They're 2 games up on the Knicks right now. I think that's what it's going to end like. So the Sixers playing the play-in, which that's what it looks like. I told you guys a scenario of what would need to happen with the Raptors losing out and Orlando losing at least 1 or 2 with us winning out. We would face Boston. So that's what it's looking, we would face Boston. Yeah, exactly. So if we somehow catch up to that 6th seed, we probably face New York or Cleveland. New York and Cleveland are pretty close. But it's really looking like it's going to be Boston or Detroit. That's if we win a playing game, guys. Again, I want to stress this. I do not feel good about any playing game without Joel Embiid. I do not. I like our odds against Miami. Other than that, I don't feel good. I don't feel good against Charlotte. I probably prefer to face Orlando more than Charlotte. But it's a shame. It's really a shame. The team was looking healthy. It was looking like we could make some interesting things happen in the playoffs, and then this news hit. It's just really unfortunate, guys. It's a shame because it feels like there's always something every year, and this has been such a tough 8 years to be a fan of the team. And I'm backing Joel Embiid here. There's nothing he can do with this, guys. It's just a shame. It's a shame. So I'll give one last rundown of everything. So again, the Sixers they have Indiana and Milwaukee to close out. 2 must-win games. They need to stay out of the 9 and 10 seed. With Joel Embiid with Joel Embiid gone right now, they cannot afford to play in that 9 seed, 10 seed playing game. They need to give themselves a little room, little margin for error. Somehow if they lose the 7 seed versus 8 seed playing game, they have one more chance to make the playoffs. And that just comes down to winning the last 2 games, and you control the things you can control. If you somehow jump into the 6th seed, which is probably not going to happen, then that is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. If you get to maybe host the 7 seed playing spot, that would be pretty nice. And then you'd host at least one playing game. If you somehow lose that one, you go and you host the next playing game. So that's a scenario. But as of now, the Sixers would head to Orlando to face the Magic in that first playing game, and the winner would be the 7th seed going into Boston round 1, and the loser would face the winner of Charlotte and Miami, contending for that number 8 seed. But guys, that's going to do it. I'll give you a quick update real fast on when the playing games are. They are next week. On Tuesday next week is the 7 versus 8 seed playing game, and Wednesday is the 9 versus 10 seed playing game, and then that Friday would be the 8 seed. Well, not the 8 seed. It would be the loser of the 7 seed versus 8 seed game versus the winner of the 9 seed versus 10 seed game. So hopefully the Sixers somehow avoid that. I doubt it. And if they are in the plan, hopefully they find a way to win. But that's going to do it, guys. Hopefully I'll be back to recap the Pacers and Bucks games. I'm sorry, it's the heart of college baseball season. And I want to get Phillies podcasts out too, which has been really busy lately. I even want to get some Eagles stuff out there. And some just stuff around the league for, NFL free agency and stuff and all other news. And Flyers in the pursuit of a push. I would cover more Flyers, but I'm just not knowledgeable on hockey like that to do a podcast. So that's going to do it, guys. And hopefully the Sixers pull a couple wins out in these next 2 games.